Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Grand Cat and today we are looking at the brand new Ultra deck, the 3 captains for One Piece card game. Of course this is the TCG and this is Starter Deck 10. It's officially Starter Deck 10. It's a little bit more pricey than the regular Starter Decks. This retails in at £30, but you're going to see that you get a lot of money, a lot of bang for your buck. And I will say that Bandai is doing significantly stronger than what Bushiroad is, particularly in terms of card fight, because we've recently had the card fight stand-up decks, which retail in at £66.99. That is the retail price. You can get them for a little bit cheaper, about 55 and such, which is still practically double this. Every card in that is common. There's only generally one new card, possibly two, for the... I can't remember what its name is, but the Dark State one. Farvenale. There's only 2 new cards in Farvenale, and of course they are absolutely required if you're going to try and build those decks, whereas this is half the price. Every single card in here is going to be foil. The cards that are reprinted have an alternate art from the original print that they had, and there's a lot of new stuff in here, and we're going to get right into it. It's going to be fantastic, it's going to be amazing, and I am really, really looking forward to this. I did not buy any of the stand-up decks, by the way. So in here, it says 19 types in total. You get 11 commons, 1 rare, 4 super rares, 3 leader cards. This, check the product for the full card list in this. Ready to play deck. That's a lie, it's not ready to play. We'll get into that in just a second. The pro deck contains a ready to play 50 card deck, 3 types of leader cards, and 10 Dawn that you can use to start the game immediately. That's a lie. Contents of this product are the same for any box. This product contains some identical cards. It should. There's some cards that are 4 of that you want 4 of. The packaging illustration may differ somewhat from the final product. Bandai does not assume responsibility for the future value of cards. If you have any questions, please contact us here with the inquiry form. And when playing the game for the first time, please check the rules page on the website, and then the data usage fees for the site access are the responsibility of the player. Also, if you don't know how to play the game, we have an entire tutorial on how to play One Piece, so check that out. It's a little bit better than what's on the website. But let's get into this. This is a big hecking chonker, as you can see. The artwork on it is absolutely amazing. This is, of course, the 3 captains comes from the Wano arc. At the bottom of it, you don't really have much going on here. So the Wano arc, of course, Eustace Kid-in-Law take on Big Mom, and Luffy takes on Kaido, and of course, Luffy becomes the new Emperor of the Sea after that. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Although you should have seen it, because it happened in the anime, and it's also happened in the manga quite some time ago, so if you're just not caught up, I don't know what to tell you. So, let's see exactly what we get in here. So this is what it comes with. It comes with its own deck box, which is very, very cool. Let's take a look at this. So you can see here that this deck box is a professional style deck box, which is very, very cool. It has the 3 leaders on it. It opens up, it has a Velcro strap on it and everything. This part here is just filler to stop the deck from bouncing around. You even get a deck separator. You can use it to separate your Dawn from your main deck, I suppose, in any other kind of way. We'll take a look at the deck in just a second. First off, let's take a look at this, just to show everyone. This is generally the same that you get in each of the starter decks. So you have your paper version of the playmat that shows you how everything goes. It also tells you the refresh phase, draw phase, Dawn phase, main phase, end phase. Then there's your life, there's a Dawn, there's a cost area, there's character area, leader, stage, deck, trash. And there you have a bit of explanation in the back. I don't think this is even new to this. I think this is the same one they generally use. But just for completion's sake, there is everything. If you need to see any part of it, of course, just pause the video and hopefully you'll be able to read all of that. Right, now that we've got the boring stuff out of the way, let's get into the fun stuff. Ah, yes, I'm very, very looking forward to this, as I have mentioned. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to fold this away, and it is very much in refusal. It folds that way. There we go, we did it. Okay, now, very excited about this, because it's not necessarily meta, but it's very, very close. This Trafalgar Law leader is one of the ones that I'm very, very much looking forward to. We probably won't read through all of the cards in here because that will make this video ginormously long, but what we are going to do is we're going to look at everything that you get in here. And of course, if you want to see any of the effects of any of the cards, you can look them up on the official One Piece websites. So we have our 3 leaders, all of which are in lovely foil. You can see there they are very, very cool looking. I am most interested in this 6k Monkey D Luffy. He's very, very strong, and maybe you'll see some decks showing up a little bit later with me using them. I also really like this Trafalgar Law, but the Eustace Kid is also absolutely fantastic. Big Dog himself in KC said that he's going to play this. I'm more interested in these two, but I do want to build all 3 decks. So let's separate our 3 leaders. Those are going to sit up here. We're going to run out of space really quickly. I just realized that those are just off camera, so I'm just going to bring these down just a little bit so that you guys can see all of them. So I can have a range for where my camera is. The deck box is just going to sit here. We've already looked at the deck box. We get... Oh, well, that was a spoiler. We get 2 of our 10 cost Luffy. Not that excited about this. 10 cost is a bit much for what he does, but he's there. He's very cool. You get 2 of your Trafalgar Law, which, my goodness, this is fantastic. It is a 4-drop blocker that has the effect that if your opponent has 7 or more cards in hand, you can -1 Dawn, and they have to discard 2 of the... Well, you discard 2 of their cards at random, which is very cool. We have the Eustace Kid, which I personally think is the strongest card in the deck. It is 7-drop, 8k, no counter. On play and when attacking, Dawn -1, and up to one of your leader gains plus 1000 power until the start of your next turn, which means that all of your 5k leaders turn into 6k, and your 6k Monkey D Luffy turns into a 7k. And if you have 2 of these in the field, then it starts becoming ridiculous. You really want to play this at 4 in almost every purple deck. We have the Rush Zoro, that's right, the SR from the first set has been reprinted in a trial deck. 3-drop 5k, has Rush ability, and he has his own alternate art, and of course he is foil as well, which is very, very cool to see that they've done that. We have the 4 Nami, and this is where the controversy comes in, because we were told that this Nami would be banned from 10th of November. It turns out a lot of people cancelled their orders. A lot of people cancelled the best selection that had the Curly Dan in it that was also banned. A lot of people cancelled the 4 Emperors set that had the all art Whitebeard leader in it. And Bandai turned around and said, this ban is only in effect until 8th of December. So it won't even be a full month, and then you'll be able to use your Nami. In terms of us in Kern Cosplay, in my store, we are just going to ignore the ban list because it's less than 4 weeks. Generally, if you ask your store, the people that run your events, your manager, your stores, they might just allow you to just play the deck as it is rather than having to wait until December. That's what I would suggest, at least anyway. We have 4 of this new Sanji, which I'm not that impressed with. A lot of people seem to like it. 6-drop, 6k. He has a 1k counter, which is important. And on play, if you have a character... if your opponent has a character with 5,000 or more power, this character gains Rush during this turn. So most of the time he's going to be a 6k with Rush. But he's a 6-drop, 6k with Rush, whereas Zoro is a 3-drop, 5k with Rush. Just makes more sense to play the Zoro. Unless you really want to have a lot of Rush characters in your deck, then Sanji can go in there as well. And we have the brand new Jimy, which is really cool. Finally, a good Jimy. 2k counter, 2-drop, 2,000 power, and Dawn 1 when attacking, give one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power this turn. It's not the best effect we've ever had. He is unfortunately 2-drop instead of 1-drop, so he's not searchable off of the Curly Dan or anything. But he is, of course, searchable off of Nami because he is a Straw Hat Pirate, and he's also a Fisherman, which might be relevant later on. But it's just a 2k counter with an alright effect. You know, it's okay. We have our 4 brand new killer. This is brand new. 5 drop, 1k counter. Turns out we are reading all the effects, who knew? Once per turn, when a Dawn card on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost. Well, your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 3 or less. It's not the strongest card, but he is a Eustace Kid Pirate. He is part of the Kid Pirates, so there are things that search Kid Pirates, I believe, that come out in the next set. This one is very, very cool. It is Sachi and Penguin. They are of the Heart Pirates. They're 4 drop, 5k, with 2k counter, which is very important. It's very cool. And on play, if you have 3 or less Dawn on your field, add up to 2 Dawn from your Dawn deck and rest them. Now, how do you get to less than 3 Dawn when this is cost 4 Dawn? You use Law's Effect to... Law's Effect is active main once per turn. You can minus 3 Dawn to place one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3,000 or less power at the bottom of their owner's deck, and then play up to one character with a cost of 4 or less from your hand, which is this. And this brings back 2 of the Dawn, which means you're really only minusing 1 Dawn. You're also getting a 5k attacker on the field. It also has a 2k counter in hand, so there's never a point that it's not going to be useful. It is absolutely fantastic. This is a large part of what makes the Law deck very, very strong. And next up, I've seen a few people playing this. It is a 4 drop, 5k, 1k counter, John Burt, and on play, rest 1 Dawn, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck, and set it as active. So really, this is kind of 5 Dawn to play, but he gains back a Dawn, which is very, very cool. And I just realised we have absolutely run out of space, so John Bart is just going to have to sit over here, and we still have a ways to go. We get 4 of Heat, of course, who is also part of the Kid Pirates. 3 drop, 4k, 1k counter. Once per turn, when a Dawn on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, this card gains plus 2,000 until the start of your next turn. I probably am going to play this in any single deck, because it's basically a 3 drop, 6k if you are minusing a Dawn. I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it's required to me. I'm just going to put Heat over here. Beppo, now Beppo, this is another very, very important card. This is going to be something that's going to be played in all the Law decks, and probably a lot more than that. 4 drop, 5k counter, 1k counter. No, 4 drop, 5,000 power, 1k counter. 5k counter would be ridiculous. And on play and when attacking, if your opponent has more Dawn cards in their field than you, add up to 1 Dawn card from your deck and rest it. That is huge. It is amazing. My goodness, this is better Onigashima. It's incredible. You know, it's so good. This is what Onigashima or Purple really needed from the beginning, I think. So very, very cool. You'll see that a lot of the cards we've been using so far, well, a lot of the ones have been purple. They show the red ones first of all. We get the red cards, you get the Monkey D. Luffy, the Zoro, the Nami, the Sanji, and the Jimy. Then you get all the purple cards, the Beppo, Sachi and Penguin, Killer, Heat, and John Bart. Now we're down to the last card, which is Wire, who's a 3 drop, 1k counter, 3,000 power. He's a blocker, and once per turn, when a Dawn on your field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw 1 and then trash 1 card from your hand. I am probably almost never going to play this. It's nice, but I would just rather have a 2k blocker instead, or a 2 drop blocker, rather than a 3 drop one, unless there's any way to cheat this out. He's part of the Kid Pirates. Maybe he'll be using the Kid Pirate deck purely because he's searchable, because he has the word Kid Pirates in his name. I am unsure. We're going to have to throw him over here. He's going to be off camera, unfortunately. You're just going to have to pretend he's there. You know what? We could actually move this out of the way. Let's do that. And we'll put Wire up here next to his captain, Eustace Captain Kid, as well. There we go. Let me sort out that. And now we are into the events. You get 2 of each event. The first one is the Gum Gum Giant Sumo Slap. Oh my goodness, I couldn't say that for a second there. 1 drop counter, up to one of your leaders gains plus 2,000 power this turn, and then KO one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. Once again, probably never going to play this in any deck, because I would rather just have the 1 drop plus 3k counter that you get from Guard Point, or obviously the 1 drop 4k counter that you get from the Frankie Radical Beam. So I don't see this being played in very many things, unfortunately. It's a cool card. It's nice if you don't have anything better, but a lot of people will. We have the 5-drop Gum Gum Kong Gatling, which is a main effect. KO one of your opponent's characters with 7,000 power or less. This is literally Jet Gatling, which is a 4-drop to KO one of your opponent's characters with 6,000 power or less. This also has the trigger ability that up to one of your leaders gains plus 1,000 power until the end of your turn, which I believe is the same effect as Guard Point. So, to me, Jet Gatling just seems better because it costs 1 less Dawn. I just don't see this seeing an awful lot of play. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe the ability to get rid of a 7k is a lot more important than getting rid of a 6k. But in red, you generally have a lot of cards that lower your opponent's attack as well. So, I don't know. If it was minus 8k instead of 7, it might be a little bit better. Because then for 1 Dawn, you're getting rid of something that has 2,000 more power. But I personally prefer Jet Gatling, and I don't even play Jet Gatling anymore, so I don't see that seeing much play. And this is the final new card that we have in our deck. It is, of course, the Punk Vice. It is 3-drop. It is main phase effect. Rest one of your opponent's characters with cost of 2 or less, and add up to 1 card from your Dawn and rest it. This, I think, has potential. I don't really like the whole choose an opponent's character with a cost of 2 or less and rest it. I mean, you're only going to do that to rest opponent's blockers. Maybe you'll rest a sugar. It doesn't have a lot of uses, unfortunately, but that ability to gain a Dawn after playing it is very, very cool. It's the same cost as Onigashima, apart from, Onigashima stays there for the rest of the game and you just keep resting it and just gain a Dawn. This one is just a one-off play, but it also rests something. Maybe you'll see play, I don't know. And its trigger effect is add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. That's a fairly good trigger effect. Not sure if it's going to see much play. Of course, it does also have Kid Pirates in its name, so it is searchable off of the Kid Pirate stuff. So we're going to just shove that up here next to Beppo. A lot of it is off camera. But this is the other thing that is very, very cool. You maybe saw a little sneak of it earlier. But this deck comes with 10 Dawn. And all 10 Dawn are foil. Yes, that looks exactly the same as your regular Dawn. But all 10 of them are foil, which is very, very cool. I really love that they did this. This is a very, very cool effect. It isn't that you get 1 foil Dawn, all 10 of them are foil, which is absolutely fantastic. Every single card in this entire deck is foil. You also get the special deck box as well. And this is why I'm comparing it to the stand-up decks that Bushiroad released, where every single card in it was common. Even the cards that really shouldn't be common, even like the things that you would expect to be foil. Because when Bushiroad released the original start decks for Overdress, you had a triple rare variant of your big main card in the front. And those decks cost, I believe, £3. And now Bushiroad are asking for £66.95 for a singular deck that comes with a couple of promos, which are also common. Comes with a deck box, like this. Comes with a storage box, which I didn't really ask for, and I just don't understand how they're expecting that price point. But this is great value for money. This is absolutely fantastic. I mean, having the foil Dawns, having the Rush Zoro, having the all-art Namis and the all-art Zoro, very, very cool. The Eustace Kid is a brand new card and absolutely required in most decks. The Trafalgar Law, very, very strong blocker. Jean Bart, also very cool. A lot of these things, I mean, the 2k counter Jimy, the Sachi and Penguin, and the Beppo, obviously required in the Trafalgar Law deck. There's so much of this that is useful. There's so very few reprints, and the few reprints are, I think, the only 2 cards that are reprinted, if I check, are this Nami and this Zoro. And both of them have all arts. Both of them are in a brand new style, a new foil. And I really love this. I can't put this over enough. I mean, they didn't need to give us the foil Dawn on top of this, but they did. And having this wonderful deck box, and it's a solid deck box. It's not one of these deck boxes that you build up yourself. You know, it comes flat packed. You know, this is solid. It's built to protect your cards. This is absolutely fantastic. I recommend getting 2 of these if you want them, so that you get your playset of your Trafalgar Law and playset of Eustace Kid. You also get a playset of Monkey D. Luffy, you don't really need it. But even if you can only get hold of one of them, this is still fine because you still get your 4 Zoro, you still get your 4 Nami, and you still, of course, get all 3 captains, so you can choose what one you want to go for. Or if you want to try and build multiple of them like me, if you're crazy and insane, which I am, then that really goes about helping, you know, all these things. Because in every single one of these decks, you probably want to play the Trafalgar Law and the Eustace Kid at 4 ofs. So I'm going to try and maybe get myself 6 of these so that I have enough Eustace Kids and Trafalgar Laws to go in all 3 decks. Even at that, I would like additional Trafalgar Laws and Eustace Kids, and maybe even additional Beppos to go in some of my other purple decks, because it really helps out a lot. Having this Rush Zoro is absolutely amazing, because we all know that getting the Rush Zoro was not the easiest thing to get in the world. He was a little bit expensive for a while. He's came down a little bit in price now, but he was expensive for a little while. Having this all art Nami, of course, Namis are always absolutely fantastic. 1-drop Searcher, top 5 for a Straw Hat, and once again, of course, the ban list does say that, oh, you know, you're not allowed to use this at the moment, but I would maybe, if it's not a big tournament, if it's not a, you know, if it's not something huge, maybe say, is it okay if I can just play the Namis, you know, in your deck, you know, because the ban list is going to disappear in, well, on December 8th, which also, I have a whole bunch of videos going up that I thought was going to be the last time that I was going to get to play Zoro, Trafalgar Law, and Whitebeard. And it's the Straw Hat version of Whitebeard. And I did the entire deck list at the start of the video and showed and explained exactly how to play it on the basis that I thought that people wouldn't be allowed to. And of course, a lot of my deck lists are hidden behind the subscription. You know, if you're dedicated enough, you want to pay the money to get, you know, the deck list of a former world champion. Well, I'm not a former. You don't lose your world champion. I'm still world champion. But those videos will be going up absolutely free, and they'll have the full explanation of how to play the decks ahead of time, and a short time after that, those decks are going to be legal, so you can 100% play those exactly as they are, and you can follow my advice if you so want to, if you want to choose to. So I'm going to have a lot of fun building these decks. I really want to build all 3 of these. Trafalgar Law is the one that's most exciting to me, as is the Luffy. Oh, I can't tell between the 2 of them, because I really love this 6k Luffy. I really love 6k leaders. 6k leaders are fantastic. Of course, the Luffy only has 3 life, which is a downer. Trafalgar Law has your usual 4 life, but it has a great effect. And the Eustace Kid is our first multicolour leader with 5 life that can attack. Because we have had multicolour leaders in the past that have 5 life, but none of those have actually been able to declare an attack. All of them have to do something else, you know, get another way around getting cards onto the field and doing abilities like that. Eustace Kid can declare an attack. So that is very, very cool. So I'm very, very excited about this. Let me know in the comment section below, are you getting this? Are you excited about it? Are you ignoring it? And if so, why? Are you dedicated to yellow or black and red and purple just isn't for you? That's maybe a possibility, but I am very, very excited about this. You know what? Just before we go, I was just about to turn off the video there. Let me just rank these cards. So, personally, I don't think Wire's all that good. I'm going to take him away. I don't think Heat is all that good. We're going to remove him. I'm not greatly impressed with Sanji. I could see it having purpose. I just think there's better 6-drops out there, unfortunately. Jimy is fantastic. This is a huge 2k counter. John Bart, fantastic. Eustace Kid, Trafalgar Law, 2 of the best cards in the entire thing. Rush Zoro, absolutely fantastic. It will never not be good. Nami, also amazing. Killer, not so impressed with. We're going to put him to the side. Sachian Penguin, fantastic in one deck in particular, which is Trafalgar Law. Beppo, fantastic in almost everything. And Kong Gun, or Kong Gatling, I think Jet Gatling's better. Oh my goodness. The Gum Gum Giant Sumo Slap, I really just think the Guard Point is a better card than this. Punk Vice, I'm unsure. Maybe it has potential, but at the moment, I'm going to put this away. And the Monkey D. Luffy, let's just read his effects, we haven't went over it yet. He is 10 drop, 11k with Rush, and once per turn, when your opponent activates a blocker, you may KO one of your opponent's characters with 8,000 or less power. It's probably the best 10k Rush that we've got for red. The other one is, of course, Shanks, but maybe this is just a little bit better because of the when your opponent blocks, you can blow up one of their cards effect. I don't know, for me, it doesn't seem that amazing. The leaders are all fantastic. So, I think the leaders are the main point for buying this. I'm going to rank Luffy number 1, Trafalgar Law number 2, and Eustace Kid number 3, because all 3 of these leaders are amazing. They are decks by themselves. The best card in the set, Eustace Kid. He is going in at number 4. Let's just move these out of the way just a little bit. We're going to just shove these out of the way. So that is my top 4. The 5th best card, in my opinion, I'm going to say that it has to be the Trafalgar Law, of course, because this, even your opponent knowing that this Trafalgar Law is potentially in your deck will stop them from trying to have more than 7 cards in hand. You know, they'll try and keep themselves down to 6 cards or less, and that in itself is enough to break through their defenses, make sure they don't have a giant hand so that they can just guard every single one of your attacks. So that is absolutely fantastic. Next card I am going to say is the reprint of the Rush Zoro, because it is so good in multiple decks. It is so cheap to summon, only 3 drop. It's 5k, has Rush. It's absolutely fantastic, very, very strong card. The next card is going to be the 4 drop Beppo, because this thing is going to get you multiple Dawn. Like, even if he just gets you 1 Dawn, he's just a 4 drop 5k. And of course he's got the 1k counter as well. If he didn't have the 1k counter, he wouldn't be as good. But the fact that he does have the 1k counter makes him absolutely excellent in my book. Next up, we're going to put in the Nami, purely because it's the alt art. I love my alt arts, and I know that it's banned at the moment, but it won't be forever. It's going to come back off, and of course, Nami is an absolute essential part of a lot of the red decks. The next one we're going to go with is going to be the Jean Bart, who's on play, rest 1, get a Dawn. So it's basically 5 drop, get a Dawn. He only has 5k power, but gaining that additional Dawn is the real crux of his power. Then I would have to go for your 2k Jimy, which is a very rare, good 2k counter that you kind of want to summon. Of course, we've got the 1 drops that are very, very good as well, but this is our first Straw Hat 2k counter that I really actually want to play. Brook is good exclusively in red-green law because he returns to hand, and Sanji, I've never really liked the idea of taking a life just for the ability. And then, of course, our last one is this 2k counter, which, in my mind, is only really playable in Trafalgar Law. Even at that, he's still a 2k counter, and having a 2k counter is absolutely fantastic for having a 4 drop with 5k power. And you can see here that Jean Bart, Beppo, and Sachian Penguin, they're all part of the Heart Pirates, which means that they are all searchable off of your Trafalgar Law Searcher that you'll get in set 5 as well. And this is my main reason for buying the deck. Of course, you still get all of these other cards out here. You know, maybe you'll see some use in these that I have yet to see. But of course, you also get your 10 foil Dawn, which is absolutely fantastic. You know what? We're going to shove that 10 foil Dawn here. We're going to make sure that they're all spread out so that you can see all 10 of them, which is very, very cool. And you get this amazing deck box. So that is going to be it for this little video, folks. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these glorious little videos go out. and we shall see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.